when you go through something like this, you have to have support. And I will tell you, my biggest fear in the next several weeks is nothing to do with my body at this point. I have quite a
Well,
bit of PTSD about falling and that feeling of like all of a sudden my legs are not working.
this podcast is intended solely for educational and discussion purposes. The content shared within this program is not meant to embarrass, criticize, or humiliate any official, coach, team, conference, or fan. Our goal is to educate, inform, and promote a deeper understanding of the art and the profession of officiating, providing insight that benefits all who love and support the game. Welcome to another episode of The Play is the Play. I am so excited. You know, I got my girl Kim Hobbs with me today, and her and I, we're going to obviously keep it real. We're going to have a great discussion of some perseverance, some things that she's personally gone through with an injury in a game. And her and I will also break down another play and have a great discussion. You know, Kim, one thing I can say with you, you know what? You're one of my up and coming leaders, and I missed you tremendously last year. You have no idea how much I missed you, and I am so excited to have you back. You're healthy. We're going to take it slow. We're not going to push you into the grind like crazy with some back-to-backs and stuff. Make sure your travel is comfortable for you to kind of get you back into the groove. But again, I am so excited to have you back. You're a great leader, you're a great teacher, and you're an awesome referee. So I'm happy to have my girl back with us. And we're going to have an awesome segment of The Play is the Play.
Thanks for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
Now this is our segment of The Play is the Play, and I have Kim's with me. And Kim, you sent me a play, and we're gonna run it, and you can just kind of set the play up, and you and I will get into our fun conversation as we would do if you were calling me after a game.
All right, so I picked this play because we're obviously going to talk about the injury that I had. This is the play prior to me going down. So we're going to have a 3-point shot here that's going to happen right in front of me here in the trail.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a jump shooter contact, illegal contact. And I think what happens here for me is the offensive player falls to the ground, and I stay with her too long, looking for point of contact up at the wrist and the forearm, and I
Mm-hmm.
don't look at the trajectory of the defender. And as she's running out at her, she's fast enough that she's going to take her feet out so that she doesn't have her landing space. But I get duped
Mm.
into thinking it's a fake because she falls.
Okay.
So this is where I have a no call. And had I had really looked at the defender and where the defender was coming to her feet, I would have had a foul on this play.
Absolutely. Look at your body language. You see how you had the lean and the peak, you know,
Yep.
again, with when sometimes in our body language can deter us from making a call,
Yep.
as well as our thought process. And I think here is that, like you said, and I really like that you instantly for yourself said that I stayed with the jump shooter too long and didn't go with your defender. Because obviously, if you're
Right.
looking at that defender, you can see she starts below the 3-point arc, and then when she ends up making contact, we look at the end of the play, she's clearly over the line. So that tells you right there
Correct.
she was suspect to start with. You know, the other interesting part in looking at your body language is how you take that lean versus stepping. Because if you take the step, we
Right.
always know that once we move forward, we tend to we tend to stay with the play, stay connected to the play. And here you got you got your lean going, which not saying that deters you from blowing your
Absolutely.
whistle, but all things matter when you're trying to get a play. And then looking at this play, your partners are doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing. I see your lead here is looking in the post. Your center should have the weak side rebounding on the other side, ready to help with weak side rebounding. So this jump shot is all on you. It's not like you need,
all me,
this is not
baby.
a play. It's all you, baby. It's not like you need some help. Now, in a perfect world,
No,
would it be great if our center could come and get this play? But we're not going to fault our center because the center official is doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing. And you don't need help on this play. We always want to,
correct.
how can someone else has helped us get this particular play? In this instance, you didn't need anybody to help you with this play. You're more than
Nope.
capable
And
of
you can
getting this
tell
on.
by that lean. Yeah. And you can tell with that lean, when I go with my head, I'm staying with the forearm and the up top. And if
Uh-huh.
I step down, maybe I get to the feet, but I'm sitting here
Yeah.
leaning like I'm just going to keep this random angle
Right.
and not
Right.
get to the bottom part of that play.
And it's just little things that we can do with our fundamentals, and that can help us. And it's more so, mind you, can we know you could do every single thing right and still not blow your whistle. We know that. But in a perfect world, we want our habits to be good. We want our position to be good. We want our eyes at point of contact where it needs to be. And that was a great point you made when you said, if I would have stepped down, I maybe would have picked up the defensive player to see where she took off from, her trajectory going toward the offensive player on her jump shot, which could have helped you blow your whistle on this illegal contact, because that's really all you're
Correct.
looking for. This is not a difficult play. This is
Yep.
just putting your eyes and your body language where it needs to be so that you can get this play. This is, and that's what the nice thing about this play is. Not difficult. It's just setting ourselves up, mindset, eyes, and positioning to that point on jump shots where we just know we're going to get it. I think the other key component is that, we have to think on jump shots, there's no marginal contact on jump shooters. And the key component is get to point of
Correct.
contact. And when a player falls down, not saying that every single time they fall down, it's illegal contact or we should have a foul, but we should know how they got to the ground to know whether or not we should have put whistle on the play. In this instance, you knew immediately. You said, I didn't step down. I stayed with the jump shooter too long. I didn't know exactly the trajectory of my defender and where she, her leaning and going forward into the offensive player to give you all those little pieces to the puzzle to be able to say, you know what, this is just an obvious foul that I have to have a whistle on. But
100%.
I just
Yep.
love how we, and again, this is what video does. It helps
Yeah.
us, to create our good habits, to work on our fundamentals, and to call the obvious every single night. And we can't put
Absolutely.
things in our
Yep.
head that make us go the other direction. Because we do that to
Yep.
ourselves, unfortunately,
Uh,
on a lot of
Yep.
plays. But great play. Really, really good play.
Yeah. Well, the play next is even better.
Here is our keeping it real segment. Kim, this is tough, and I just want to commend you on wanting to talk about it, wanting to be a part of this episode, because here is a situation where I think personally you can help so many of our officials, because the perseverance, the mental toughness, the physical toughness, personally, I've had an injury where it was a season ending injury. I think mine is a little different than yours because in your instance, you had to be wheeled off the court. And the way you went down, it was just tough to watch. So I want to say thank you for, not having a problem with having this discussion and going through the play, because so many officials, they don't want to talk about it. They want to hide from it. But you're not that type of referee. Anything that we can do to help someone else. And I said this initially when you were out, and I would call you, every other week or once a month or whatever we would come up with, me checking on you. And we would have these discussions because, our mental is so huge in how you get back, how you persevere through. And if you don't have that, and you had the support only of your family, you had the support of me, you had the support of fellow officials, I think you had the entire country that was
Yeah.
rooting for you. And
Yep.
that says a lot. And I don't know if people really know that about us, how
Yeah.
everyone rallied around you to check on you, to make sure you were good. But I just commend you for sharing in this part of your career, because this was tough. This is tough. So
Yeah.
I'll let you take it from here.
So this is the play that changed my season, and this is the play that happened directly after that last 3-point shot that I no called. So I turned to run, and we'll go ahead and run this through. It's about 2 minutes, and you'll hear the commentary as well.
14-4 USC run gives the Trojans that lead. All right. So it looks like Michael Price is down. No, not
Kim
Michael
Hobbs,
Price.
yeah.
It's Kim Hobbs.
Yep.
Oh my goodness, there was a
with the
collision.
player.
Yeah.
And you certainly hope everybody's okay here. Slow getting up, maybe got caught in the face there.
My gosh, a hush coming over this crowd. It was away from the ball,
Yeah.
Krista. Players colliding, and Kim Hobbs, one of our officials, caught in the contact.
She's slow getting up. They're slowly sitting her up, and she and I think maybe Logan Nisley collided.
She's
Veteran crew
sitting
here today, Ann.
But you could tell in some discomfort and very slow to her feet, and will need, I think, some assistance.
Yep. Michael Price is going to help. She's not one to put pressure down to walk. Wow.
Wow is right.
So that far side over across, you'll see she's kind of looking over her shoulder. Kim Hobbs is. Oh, and then something gave. So not a collision, but see, then a player behind her sort of tripped and fell over her, not expecting. But yeah, she's not putting pressure down either, and on her left foot, and still being slowly moved off this floor. She's in a lot of pain out there right now. I think they're going to have to get some assistance to help her.
Non-contact all the way with the bodies flying.
Yeah, something. She was looking over her shoulder running. Oh, and you certainly hate to see that.
So Ben Hoover out with his staff to attend to Kim Hobbs. Let's take a quick break. Be back in just a moment. Scary moment here at the Galen Center. Official Kim Hobbs being wheeled off the court after collapsing to the floor during live ball action, but it was a non-contact incident. Hobbs basically crumpling to the floor. We have no idea what's going on, but going off to a huge ovation.
We certainly hate to see this, and we hope that it's something that will not keep her out this entire season, but it did not look good. There injuries we don't like, no matter who they are, to Ann.
Wow, Kim, that's
Yeah.
I just have to thank you for sharing. You know, that's tough. It's just tough. And here's what we all have to know. And I think a lot of times, people don't see us as human beings. We're the ones with the striped shirts on that they think we're invincible. They think, they can throw anything at us, say anything about us, anything. But we are just as susceptible to injuries as any player on that court at any time. And this just shows how we're athletes, how athletes can get injured, how freak accidents happen night in and night out, non-contact, because it was interesting how they thought you got tripped. You didn't. It's funny how we always want to come up with a reason why something happens. And in this instance, there wasn't any reason at all. It was just a freak accident where, and for you, you're my yoga guru here. You're my girl who stretch, who does yoga, who is all about mind, body, and soul. This is your life. And I think
Yes.
you shared with me something that the doctor said to you that really kind of surprised me when you made the comment. And do you remember what it was when you said the
Yeah.
doctor said, so
Yep.
share that.
Well, so when I went down, I didn't initially have pain. It felt like somebody had tied ropes to both of my ankles and yanked me backwards, and I just fell forward.
Wow.
And so, but as soon as I rolled over, and I'm so honestly like to be with Infinity and Price, like I
Mm,
could not have been more surrounded by folks that not only understood it but have been with me for the last 20 years. So, and I remember having shooting pain up both the backs of both legs, and they immediately said, "We're going to get the wheelchair." And I said, "Do not get the effing wheelchair. I am walking off of this court." I was
of
like,
course you
"Absolutely
was.
not." And I couldn't put one foot in front of the other. And so they get the wheelchair. It has to be like, I mean, honestly, the most unimaginable basketball thing happening, right? Getting wheelchaired off the court. And then I get
Hmm.
into the doctors into the back, and the non-operative doctor said, "Well, no one blows both hamstrings, so you're probably having severe cramping." So my next thing is, you did not just wheel me off of the court for severe cramping.
Cramping.
The,
Right.
like absolutely not. So they, I was a little bit of
Right.
shock, and they took all my vitals. They set me up with an MRI the next day, but she's like, "I think you need to drink a lot of electrolytes, and I think you're having cramping." So they tried to give me crutches, and I said no, I need to walk it off. And
Of course
so I'm
you
over
did.
there stretching. And again, to what we had talked about, yoga, I always joke that the two longest relationships in my life have been basketball and yoga. I've been practicing yoga
Hmm.
for 25 years.
Hmm.
But when you repetitively put your body in these contortionist positions, your foot behind your head, thinking that you're healthy, there's a combination of the years and years of micro tearing on the hamstrings, and then you combine that with a sprinting activity, quad dominance, overuse of the hamstrings. And then also they talk about the when I'm in perimenopause, so I'm 45, and when you start to lose estrogen,
Hmm.
the tendon damage, the tendon health starts to decrease. So the combination of all of those things, and
Mm.
also a swift, hilarious joke of the universe, right? Like, I think I was just kind of destined at some point that my hamstrings kind of gave up. So yeah, it was, and you talk about this, the outpouring, and Ann Schatz, who was the commentator on this, has been in constant contact with me throughout the entire time. She checks in with me at
Wow.
least once a month, and she always says, "You don't have to respond. I just want you to know I'm thinking of you." Like, those are those relationships. We don't really talk to the commentators that often. We're friendly, but
Right.
the fact that
Right.
I had a college coach send me a note just like, "Hey, we're the humanity portion of this has, because of the public setting, there has been a big outpouring
Hmm.
of probably boundaries that we haven't crossed before, because it's such a surreal and unexpected thing that happened."
Wow, incredible. And I'm sure for you that really helped, and because, anytime we go out is devastating for referees. Referees don't like missing games. Referees don't like missing seasons. That's just not our nature. We will get there, we will get through the game, we will do whatever we have to do, but in this instance, there was nothing you could do about it. And the nice thing to hear is for you to say, like, and like, myself and all
Yeah.
these fellow officials that had you in their prayers on a daily basis, checked in with you, watched you. I remember when I think you had called me, maybe it was a couple of weeks after, and you said, "Hey, is it okay, that I share this on my social media platform?" And I said, "Absolutely." I said, "As long as you're
Yeah.
comfortable with it, because officials need to know, fans need to know that we're human, that we're athletes,
Yeah.
that anything can happen to any one of us in a game that can take us out. And it's no different than a player getting injured and having to,
Yeah.
you know, get rolled off, or they lose
Yeah.
their whole season, lose the year of eligibility, those
Right.
type of things. Because every night that we go out and work, there is a possibility that we can injure ourselves. And we don't think
Yep.
about that so many
Yep.
times. We don't,
Yep.
it's not something that's talked about, maybe because we really don't want to talk about it, but we know
Right.
in the back of our heads that it is a possibility every time you go out that something can happen to
Absolutely.
you. And just, I think for me, I was so proud and impressed with your mental as well as your physical. Because I knew, for us, we work hard. You work hard at everything you do. I knew you were going to go to rehab. I knew you were going to follow the doctor's instructions. I knew you were going to do every single thing, the doctor told you. And every time I talked to you, you said, this is my life right now. Rehab every single day.
Full time.
Um,
It's full time.
full time, full time. And,
It's my job.
but
Yep.
the great thing is that that's your job. But mentally, you did not allow this to mess with your mental mind state of, am I going to be okay? Am I going to be able to come back? You were like, no, 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 no. My full-time job now is rehab. I'm going to follow the doctor's instructions. I'm going to do exactly what I need to do to get myself back. And I think that's the story for you,
Yeah.
is that your strength physically and mentally
I
to
appreciate
persevere.
that. I appreciate that. I think what's really, there was a couple of things that have come up for me in this entire rehab situation. And first, I definitely, I think that it's important for people, not referees. It doesn't matter. When you go through something like this, you have to have support. And I will tell you, my biggest fear in the next several weeks is nothing to do with my body at this point. I have quite a
Right.
bit of PTSD about falling and that feeling of like all of a sudden my legs are not working. And so I
Mm-hmm.
have had to reach out, and I have a sports psychologist that I work with. I have, you talk about the folks that you have to be able to come to you and say, V, I want to go in, I want to ref, but I need to
Mm-hmm.
have a day off and I don't know how this is going to go. And so to be able to have those support systems around you so that you can,
Mm-hmm.
it's really funny. Like you talk about the play is the play, and I take it a one step farther. The game is the game, and it
Yeah.
doesn't matter how badly you want to participate in it or how badly that you think that you are part of it, like it are an integral part, because we are, but we are as referees, we are not as individuals. That game is going to go on whether you are there or
Right.
not. You think there was a hard time filling my games? There's no, there's, we have qualified people to step in and take over. So what I say to that,
Right.
and I had a talk with another young referee, is you have to take care of yourself, and you better do what's best for you, and make sure that you are 100%, because you care about you. You can't, you have to make yourself 100% whole before you can go back and offer, because that game is going on without you. That play is going on without you. So don't try and,
Mm-hmm.
they don't
Great
they
point.
don't care if it's
Great
you
point.
or someone
You are
else
dead
there.
on. Right.
So,
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
and I definitely, the athlete in me is like, that is not the last referee. That game is not the last game I referee. I'll be damned if the last game I
Well,
referee in my
how
career
about,
is getting wheelchaired on.
I love it. And I am so happy that you had that determination and that perseverance, because that key point and that mindset is what was able to push you through, as well as, having all of silent, the people that loved you, the people that supported you, the people that putting all up those silent prayers, that we wanted, we were just hoping and praying that that would not be your last game. And I'm happy to hear you say that you were determined that that would not be your last game, that you knew that that was not going to happen. But I'm sure with sharing this story, you were really able to help so many officials watching this. You're going to be able to help them work through getting injured. But you always know that at any point in time, any one of us could get injured and have to go out, and it's how we handle that part. I think that's the key component to this episode, and me having an opportunity to hang out with Kim.
So I just want to say, to especially everybody that I don't maybe talk to all the time, the amount of love that happened after this injury and throughout my rehabilitation, and kind of why I felt the need or want to kind of share it on social media. I just, to every single person that's reached out, it saved a small part of me. It was a little bit each person um, that just was a quick text, or it really kept me going and really kept me feel like I was still a thread in this community, where I think that a lot of us that go through injury can kind of feel like we're not forgotten necessarily, but it's easy to get lost a little bit, and it lost in your own mind, as well. So it was super critical in my healing process moving forward, all of those folks that continued to reach out. So I just wanted to say thank you to everyone.
Kim, I just want to say thank you so much for being one of my guests. I want to thank you so much for sharing. I am so excited to have you back. I will work around whatever it is you need me to. You don't have to worry. And which she's communicated to me, what she can do and what she can't. And that's perfect for me. I'm just happy to have one of my veteran referees back on staff, and the rest of the staff is looking forward to working with her. I think everyone has given me, a request. Can I work with Kim? So we're all happy to have her back. And I just say, in closing, I'm gonna give you guys, I always give you guys a little something to go home with. And in this wrap up, I would say do this. If any of you know of any referee that is injured, that's down, that's having any type of physical issue, and they're not able to referee, check on them. Give them a call. Send them a text, because we're family. And it's up to us to make sure that we take care of each other. It's up to us to make sure that we look out for each other. And I think, as I always say, that we are our brothers and sisters keepers. And if no one cares about us, we care about each other. So I'm saying that's my homework assignment for if we have anyone who that needs some, just a little picker-upper, a little lift, a little something, call them, text them, reach out to them, and just let them know that you're important, that you have support, that, work hard to get back, because it's extremely important. And we want you, we want you back. We want you healthy, but we all know that none of us want to go out and referee when we're injured. So, you know what? Here we go. That's our episode of The Play is the Play. And I look forward to the next one. And we're going to keep sharing, keep learning, keep teaching, and we're going to keep it real. So there's our segment of The Play is the Play. The Play is the Play. And I want to let everybody know we enjoyed this episode, and peace out.